dictionary, conflict is defined as an active disagreement between people with opposing opinions or principles. Conflict resolution is conceptualized as the methods and processes involved in facilitating the peaceful ending of conflict and retribution. Mediation is an effective way to deal with disputes. This is where a neutral third party intervenes in a dispute in order to resolve it as to reach to an agreement or reconciliation. According to the World Mediation Organization, mediation is getting from point A, which is a point of conflict, to point B, which is a point of resolution. Mediation is a multi-stage process designed to get results. It is less formal than a trial or an arbitration. It is a voluntary process that has distinct guidelines that is focused to reach a mutual agreement. There are 6 stages to the mediation process. Stage 1, mediator's opening statement. The disputants are seated at a table and the mediator introduces everyone and explains the goals and rules of the mediation process, encouraging each side to work cooperatively towards a settlement. Stage 2 is known as the disputant's opening statement. Each party is allowed to describe in his or her own words what the dispute is about and how he or she has been affected by it. They are encouraged to present some general ideas about resolving the issue. While one person is speaking, the other is not allowed to interrupt. Stage 3 is known as the joint discussion. In this stage, the mediator may try to get the both parties talking directly about what was said in the opening statements. This is the time to determine what issues need to be addressed. Stage 4 is known as private caucuses. In this stage, each party meets privately with the mediator, usually in a nearby room, to discuss the strengths and weaknesses of his or her position and new ideas for settlement. The mediator can caucus with each party once or several times if needed. However, the mediator must remain neutral. Stage 5 is joint negotiation. Here, the mediator brings both parties back together to negotiate directly and offer some brainstorming to generate new options for settlement. Stage 6 is the final stage in the mediation process. This is known as closure or memorandum of understanding. If an agreement has been reached, the mediator may put its main provisions in writing as the parties listen. The mediator may then ask each party to sign a written summary of agreement. This can also be a verbal process if the situation is not very formal. However, at this point, the agreement should be a win-win solution that should dissolve the dispute and bring an end to the whole conflict. If an agreement cannot be reached, the mediator can suggest a second meeting or, if needed, advise the parties to go to arbitration or court.
Mediator personalities. Generally, a mediator is the calm, guiding force who can keep the peace while the complainant and respondent work together to reach an outcome. It follows, then, that these qualities, calm and guiding, are the basic foundation of any good mediator. Consider the following traits, which are all considered part of the mediator mentality. Mediator should be, first, trustworthy. This includes being able to keep information confidential as well as being reliable when it comes to meeting appointments. The parties involved in the mediation are relying on you to act as the primary authority figure in the situation. Although you hold no real power over the situation, you must give the impression that you are the type of person who could have that power without using it to unfair advantage. Humble, that's number 2. Humility is important in terms of being self-aware and fallible. The people and situations a mediator deals with are often flawed or impaired. A good mediator must be aware of his or her own flaws as a human being to be fair to those who are going through an emotionally or financially distraught time. Number 3, principled or ethical. The reason there are ethics boards in law is that it can be very easy to overstep the bounds of propriety to force one's own opinions on the proceedings. While there are no official ethics board for mediation, a mediator can maintain the same type of professionalism by committing to a sense of propriety and ethics. Number 4, non-judgmental. The role of the mediator is never one of a judge. Despite what may seem to you to be the logical outcome of the mediation proceedings, you are not there to influence or otherwise sway the way the complainant and respondent work through their dispute. You are there to guide the conversation and to maintain a sense of order. Number 5, patient. Mediation, though less lengthy than formal court proceedings, can be a time-consuming process. Many times, the parties involved in mediation are working through intense emotions or years of history. This can take time, and mediators should be prepared to allow complainants and respondents to take the time they need to reach a satisfactory outcome. Number 6, empathetic. Empathy means stepping into another person's shoes to understand a situation from the inside. While mediators do not have to agree with either side of the dispute, they do have to be able to see the situation from both sides. Only then can they remain truly unbiased and fair. Number 7, logical or rational. The logical and rational side of things has less to do with understanding the issue and more to do with following standard protocol and proceedings. Mediation requires being able to know how to move forward and to help both parties to see when they are arguing around a subject.